Hello, you guys, and welcome back to the Winter Park. And today we are starting with some path art. I just couldn't resist. I wanted to do a snowflake, and I didn't look up a reference. So this is just me trying shapes and forms and going back and forth. So maybe don't do this when you're trying to do some path art and just do the extra step and go into Google search and look up a reference because I was struggling a little bit until I found what I wanted to do, and I just had this image in my head of what could possibly be a snowflake. And I tried out a few things, um, yeah, and creating lots of swastikas, which is kind of a shame. But I erased them every time, so that's good. So here you see me struggling. I just didn't know what to do. And then I just added those rhombuses, I think the word is in English, to those arms and trying to find out how I could make this look like a snowflake. Then I created those little mannequins with arms outstretched. Here I made this little person with a little hat dress and its arms raised. I don't think I kept it like this. Looks funny. It also does look like a snowflake, but it just kind of reminds me of primitive depictions of people that you would see, I don't know where. I just have this in my head. Now, this shape, I think I kept the one I did right there. And this is basically just me trying to find out how to make a snowflake. This right here just looks like some sort of medal of honor for someone who went to war. I feel the thing in the middle, but that was just an iteration that helped me to get where I wanted to get to. So I erased lots of lines in between, and wow. I'm out of words. I don't know what else to say. It will be done pretty soon, I promise. I think this is kind of what it ended up to. Yeah, I'll just add these little forms, cubes, squares in the middle, and then that's it, I guess. Yeah, so that's my snowflake. I don't know if it looks anything like a snowflake, maybe a little bit. And then I turned this into a plaza, which in this biome sort of destroyed the art because you don't really see what I did. But the thought counts. I know it's there, and you can just see it a little bit. And then I added those extra little triangular shapes to the sides because I wanted to add lots of amenities. And I just wanted to have an interesting shape. And I wanted this to be a really big guest section with just amenities and a big plaza. Since, there aren't that many species in here and I have a lot of space left, so okay, back to that's it. That's basically what I did to this plaza. I'm going to go back there, but in this episode, I'm sort of all over the place. Now I'm right back to where we left off last episode, and I went to add even more amenities and create another little guest section. Today's just a lot of guest section and slope stuff happening. ski slopes and also I think a small exhibit. Yeah, now I'm creating this mountain pass. It's just this small, very thin path that I'm going to line with the mortar walls. And yeah, that acts like a path where people can just walk along and take a good look at the whole park and at the exhibit that is lying underneath and the exhibit that is right next to it. And this is me creating some really, really big ski slopes. Those are the main ski slopes in this park. They are really long. One of them is just a regular ski slope. This one is with a view because it goes right by this a mountain pass I just created, and goes by the other side of the exhibit. The exhibit will be lying between the ski slope and this mountain pass. And I think I'm going to get there pretty soon. So yeah. Those are substantial ski slopes, like I know them when you actually go on a ski trip to do some skiing and not just look at dinosaurs with a little bit of skiing in between. So yeah, I want this to be something for like everyone. When you go there with your family, maybe some of them want to are really sporty and want to really do some skiing sport activities. Others just prefer to go on a hike, or this is going to be the exhibit, what I'm doing now. Others just want to go hiking or get a little sleigh and just ride down the hill. And others maybe just want to look at dinosaurs, So there's something for everyone in this park. And this is going to be an exhibit that I later gave to a Deinocheirus, a single Deinocheirus. There's going to be another exhibit that is bigger, where I think 3 or 4 Deinocheirus are going to live. But this one has to be kept separate. It doesn't mix with the others. So it has its own little exhibit, its own little space. And you can watch it from the pass or the slope, as I said. And here I start adding a connection possibility to this area that is situated right under this hotel section, and it's going to become another hotel section. And I thought of, for the people who just want to go on foot, add a little track there for them. But I later, in the next episode, I guess, decided to replace this by a slope and a tour, because this seemed like a really long way to go on foot. But you still can decide to go on foot. And back to another guest section, I created this little plaza, and again added one of those DFW buildings to the zip lines, which is pretend operational as a building for the lifts, which the zip lines are supposed to be here. And I know they go in the wrong direction. You can't use them as a lift, because they otherwise I would have had to switch directions. And that would have looked very strange, because the buildings where you enter would have been really high, and that just didn't look right. So I will have to pretend in the tour that I'm going in another direction when I'm using the zip line, and I'm unsure how to do this, but that's a problem for future Miri. And here I'm adding some of those biosyn lights with the orange light coloring to indicate that they are heat lamps, to create a little seating section. And I added those wall pieces in the middle and just randomly everywhere because they were perfectly aligned to the path. And I didn't want to go through the hassle of realigning them because I'm just a little perfectionistic. But it turned out I didn't need them, so I could delete them later because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with this. But I really like this arrangement of the lights and the walls and just the fountain in the middle, and that's it. Then I added a few planters to the walls just to embellish it a little. Yeah, people looking at the cryolophosauruses. And now I'm adding those flags to one of those slopes, to all of the slopes I just went to create. It's so funny seeing the people rushing by in the zip line. That's fun. And yeah, this is the slope that has a blue flag and a green sign and yellow flags, which indicates that you can see dinosaurs from this slope. As it goes for this one, the small one, and back to the snowflake because it needed to be attached to this little pass. And this was supposed to be, and still is, a little viewpoint where you can just stop and look over the fence into the exhibit. And now began the crazy lining of path, which was tedious. So I only did one side and waited a whole... I waited a week or so until I went back and added the other side because it was annoying, but it had to be done. So there was no way around it. Yeah, here I'm fiddling with this, with the with the walls to make them fit, and decided that it wasn't going to work and then just deleted this one bit of path, and now it's perfect, wonderful. And just some landscaping, few trees. Now in this video you're going to see, I think, Styracosaurus is in here because I did this before the update and way before the update was even announced, and I just went out of species with feathers, so I had to add something there and figured I couldn't just throw fairies in every exhibit. So yeah, I went for the Styracosaurus because I thought they would fit. They aren't that big that they need, I don't know, a ton of space. So, but as I said, I replaced them by a Deinocheirus, and I'm going to show you what that looks like in the end of this video, at the end. But now back to this snowflake path section, guest section, and I added viewing platforms so that people would actually go there. And I also later on replaced 2 of the amenities by attractions because there were still not enough people there and it looked really deserted, and I just wanted them to go there. because it just looks much more fun when there's, a ton of people around. So yeah, here I tried to figure out how I wanted this space to look like, and I left those little bits open, thinking that I would add the facility path, but then I didn't, and I just put bushes there and planters, as you can see now. Bushes, bushes, bushes. And a fountain, of course, because this space just called for a fountain. And then because, of course, we don't want people to go into the exhibit, and I didn't want to keep adding those wall pieces. I wanted to mix it up a little, so I lined it with a lot of rocks, and I spared you the whole part of rock placing. So, because this would have been very long and boring, rock texture. And I think I'm going to add just another ski slope in a second, yes. But first I'm creating the arrival point for the ski slope. That is going to be right there. And there you go. This is going to be our ski slope. That is connecting the next highest level of this mountain with this beautiful snowflakey guest section. And another lift, because you can never have enough of those, right? Wonderful. Yeah, so there I replaced 2 of the amenities with 2 attractions because no one was going there. See how deserted it is. And then I was struggling a little with how to decorate this path art plaza, because obviously I didn't want to cover everything up with decorations, because why even do this if you're not going to see the pattern later on? And I went very minimalistic, but sort of explained it in my head with the fact that it's winter and most of the decorations are probably inside right now. And it's in summer when you can still go to this place and do lots of hiking and nature-y walks. This plaza is much more decorated with planters and tables and chairs and benches. I think benches would not have been moved in the winter time, but we don't have benches. So what can you do? Here I'm adding heat lamps again for the people who are waiting in line to use the lift. And I don't know why I replaced the bushes here by planters, but I did. I think maybe to just change it up a little. And this is where I decided that I would add those poles at the end of every ski slope and to every lift, because I think I sort of imagined that those would be something where you could store your skis when you decide you just want to hang out somewhere or go into a viewing platform or gallery, so you don't have to carry your skis all the way, all the time with you. You can just place them somewhere and pick them up later when you need them again. So I added those poles everywhere, as you can see. Yeah. They aren't the nicest decoration in the world, and somehow I just always find a way to incorporate them in my parks for all sorts of things, in gardening situations, in staff sections, or here as ski, what would you call this? deposits. Yeah, and this is I think one of the major lift stations there is. And I wanted to change the design a little, so I alternated from, I alternated them in between blah. So connecting, adding those control buildings, which also serve as security shelters and toilets, which is great for the park rating. And also I have a very good transportation rating, which I don't get because actually you can get from A to B, but you can't go back from B to A because all that connects them is the zip line that goes down, but it doesn't go back up. And most of those sections aren't connected by path. So, I think the game is not... Well, it's working in my favor. Let's just say that. Yeah, and now I'm adding those planters to this little ramp or big ramp I added to lead up to this mountain pass. And just decorating this section that I did in the last episode with tables and chairs and a few wall pieces and lots of nature decorations. Right here, I thought this would be an awesome place for seating deck. It's lots of seating, but since it's winter and maybe the park management maybe they don't have enough heat lamps and stuff, so some of those seating sections are not operational. You can still sit down there if you want, but you're not going to get heat. So the parasols are closed. They just kept those tables and chairs out for the people. If they want to sit down, they can, but it's not going to be heated. So that's the story behind those. And now I'm just adding a lot of rocks and a little bit of nature decorations and here as well. And that's it for today. After I placed this, I hope that now I can show you what this little mountain paths looks like, and how the Deinocheirus is doing in there. And well, all that's left to say is thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I was a little all over the place, and I hope it's getting more structured in the next episode. I'm actually sure it will, so stay tuned. If you like this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing and hit the bell for the notifications. And yeah, thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Stay safe. Bye.